And we are live.
We're moving, we're vibing. While we're talking, you can get your laugh on. Watch the channel of a video. Subscribe, like and follow. We are chilling with the girls, with the girls. Girls, with the girls, chilling with the girls.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Chillin with the Girls, Season 2, Episode 12. Woohoo! Wow, we are moving, we are grooving. So today, I was kind of lately kind of concerned about some people who've been dealing with grief for a long time. And so I thought it would be an excellent idea to do a show on regarding relief, how to get relief from grief. Going through the different steps and phases of steps of grief. Also just giving resources that we're not professionals, licensed professionals, and all that kind of stuff. But we're just giving you our opinion on how we feel would benefit you, how dealing with grief. Yeah.
I think Mom did a little bit of grief counseling training, but she didn't finish. Is that correct, Mother?
Yes, it is correct.
Okay. Yeah. Also, and I guess because of COVID and, and just this day and age, a lot of people, have lost loved ones, family members, close friends, and grief is real, and there's like no recipe, or like no set rule to get over grief. It was almost like trial and error. We all do our best, and we've been through it. We've all been through grief. So we're just going to be, I guess, telling you some things that we did that helped us. So
one thing I wanted to say was with grief, there's no specific time frame for people to get over grief. It just depends on the person who it is, and you have to I guess understand where they're coming from and be patient. Be patient with those people that are grieving. So one person can grieve from the loss of their husband or wife, whatever. They may be okay after 3 or 4 years, and then somebody 10 years. So or hopefully not no 3 days or anything, but I'm just saying that's another show. But I'm saying it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
So
and it can also be not only losing someone to death, but divorce, separation, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And people don't realize that, when you deal with divorce, it's almost like a death, because that person who you were with, you're no longer with them anymore in the home.
It depends on the divorce, Jesus.
Wait a minute,
you might be having parties, celebration.
Oh yeah, some people do have divorce parties.
They have divorce parties.
But what I'm saying is, and sometimes it could be, Mel, even worse, because the person that used to, live with, and was in your home and you went everywhere, with them, they are still on the earth, but you're still not with them,
Right.
But you're dealing with death, the person is death, the person is not on the earth anymore.
Mhm.
And
You know,
you know
so
what, young ladies, and
Yes.
also, how about this? When you go to a function, when you used to see couples together,
mhm,
Mhm.
now you're going by yourself.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
a certain feeling too. That's
yeah,
a certain feeling. You go to banquets, now all of a sudden you're by yourself.
right.
Ma, how did you feel about that, and how did you deal with that when you?
And then and I think someone came to me and said something like it was like unusual, I'm by myself. Anyway, it wasn't a good thing that was said. I don't
Mhm.
think they meant any harm,
Mm,
like unusual, I'm by myself. They weren't used to seeing me coming to a function, but I kept going. I never stopped going to functions. I never stopped. I
yeah,
kept on, and then also I found myself being really busy,
Yeah.
not just busy work. These were people didn't. It felt like to them, it didn't seem like I was really grieving, or it didn't seem like I had lost anyone, because 2 months after that, I had to do somebody's funeral.
oh,
Mhm.
okay. And
Then
that,
I doing them and then that really helps because you really putting yourself in their place in a way because
mhm,
you're working. You're not at home by yourself. And one thing, my children wouldn't allow me to be by myself. The Tish said right away, "Ma, you're not gonna stay by yourself." So I've never been really by myself.
That
But
is so true, Ma. I've never been alone,
I
alone, like
never
in
been
the
by
house.
myself. And
Yeah.
then okay, and then when you say no, I'm gonna be with you. No, you're coming with me. And then somebody else came with me. So I was never by myself really. And then I was never idle doing nothing. So I never
mhm,
allowed myself to say I'm lonely. I can be lonely but not lonesome. I can
Mm,
be alone but not lonesome
yeah.
and not lonely. And what helped me, really, I had dreams too. I dreamed about my mother. I dreamed about my husband. And, it was like we were like busy, just like we were living. We were busy getting food out. And I'm telling me, hurry up, we're running late. And it was so real. And one time I went to church, it was Father's Day, the
Mhm.
first Father's Day, and the message did not resonate with me at all,
mm,
and I just felt kind of funny. It just wasn't. It didn't help me in a way. But my presence was there, but my mind wasn't. I went home and had a dream that I was in church, in the kitchen at the island, and Farmer showed up in my dream, and he was like 23 years old when I met him. He was young, and I
Wow.
looked at him in my dream. He hugged me in my dream.
wow.
But then he said, "I'm alive." But in my subconscious, while I'm asleep, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I got to call all these companies and get things straight. The insurance company. In
Wow.
my mind, I know I had buried him,
Mhm.
but in my
So,
mind,
so
he was so alive, so real. I figured I had to fix all that stuff all over again.
wow,
Insurance policies, companies, I had to do it. Oh
wow.
my goodness. And I woke up. But
So,
I felt relieved because
yeah,
he
okay.
was alive and he was young.
One thing you said was when you went to like a banquet or whatever, and somebody said something, and it was like it didn't set right with you. That made me think of there are things that people say that they just shouldn't say. you
Mhm.
know they don't know what to say,
Mm.
so it's like they just say something, and then a lot of time they say cliches,
Mhm.
that's not going to help. And
Right.
so did you have a list of things of what not to say?
Well, when I went to this meeting, and it's beautiful. It's what is her name? Anyway, it's Roberta's house. That was a Mark Peachy and her husband had that funeral home. And she passed, her daughters opened up a Roberta house. And it's a brand new facility now. But it's beautiful. And they were saying some of the things that are really bad at funerals. Say ministers really don't know what to say. Like God needed a flower in his garden, so he picked a flower and he does the best
Yeah.
thing. And
Flower
and
garden.
he, and he wouldn't want to be back here with you, things like that. and say that really some people it just turn them off. Now,
Yeah.
some of the things they would say that's not good. At least she lived a long life, and many people die young. Stuff like that.
Wow.
Or he's in a better place. You know. Um, and then some people. Now, I got this off the internet. She bought this on herself. You
Some
know.
what? You think people would
Uh,
say that
No,
to
now
somebody?
no.
some haters out there too,
Well,
and
one
maybe
thing.
say to you, they'll say
Well,
about you.
how can you be evil towards someone who lost a
No,
loved
but
one?
you may say this to somebody, and it will get back to the person.
Wow.
Okay, and say, and there's a reason for everything. There's a reason why she's gone or why he's gone. Say, and then aren't you over this yet? You
Wow.
keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. You can make it. Keep going. God's got you. You can get over this. And say, and he's been gone for a while now. And if you lose a child, they may say, "Oh, you're young. You can still have another child." Now, actually, someone said to me, "Now you're free to get married. You're not under bondage now. You're free." And it's like I was under bondage.
Right.
Say,
What?
Wow.
now you're free to get married now, and that
People
was
say stuff
right. I
without
mean,
thinking.
it just happened. That is so, and because
Wow.
yeah. And it said she was such a good person, but God wanted her to be with him. So, oh yes, I know how you feel. Really? No, you don't. Because our chemistries are different.
Yeah.
Say she did what she came here to do. Now it's time to let her go. Or tell people, be strong. Now some of the things you can say that's helpful, like, I'm sorry for your loss. Is
Mhm.
anything you want me to do?
Yeah.
And then at the class I went to, and it says, just say nothing or hold their hands and say nothing. If you don't know what to say, just say nothing. Or
Yeah.
I'm here for you. Or what do you want me to do?
Mhm.
And now I changed that around because I used to say I like do anything. Say I do anything within my power. Just what do you want me to do? And money helps. And sometimes you say, do you need something?
Mhm.
And maybe they need fruit or something easy like that. Or write them a letter, write them a card in your handwriting and put $10 in it. Something like that.
It will make them feel good.
Yeah, and say, and then sometimes I tell the people, you can call me at any time if you need somebody to talk to, and which I did not too long ago. This lady,
Now,
Yeah, yeah.
and she was really
I'm
happy.
sorry. I don't know about that one because I can't tell people that because I know, I might
And
be
tell her
going through.
what?
Well, tell them to call me anytime.
Oh,
I
but see, I'm different. I'm
'cause I'm
single. I don't have a job. I don't have a spouse.
I know, but that's you, Mom.
That's
This
what
is
I say.
that's
Some
not
people can
everybody
say it.
else. So
I don't mean
I don't. That's
everybody.
why I say I don't know if I don't think I could do
Like
that.
individuals. You don't have to say that or
So
say
you know
no.
what? So people need to be careful of what they say. Like if somebody say you can, a lot of times people say things based on
don't
that's what other people say. So I'm going
Yeah.
to say it too. You
they
know.
think that's
Or,
they'll make them feel good. Let me
And
say
you
right.
it.
know what
I
That's
don't
else
just
really
too?
helpful.
mean it, but I think it'll make them feel good.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
sometimes they
Yeah.
say things on the spur of the moment as to how they feel at that present.
Hmm.
And they may not always feel, but I literally believe that they can call me. People do. They call me 2, 3 in the morning. And then when they call, I think it's maybe important.
Hmm.
Answer. But usually they would say, pray for me. And sometimes they are going through things, and some things hit you really hard at midnight when it's dark
It's
at
so true.
night. Your senses hit
Yes,
you hard. You feel worse when you're sick,
that is
and
so
things just
true.
That's so
come over
true.
you when it's dark and you by yourself. It's like you're in your midnight time for real. And
Yeah.
so they'll pick up the phone and calls, and guess what? They know I will call them back, and
Hmm.
they don't feel bad about it. They know I will call them back,
Right.
and I don't feel bad about it.
So what I was trying to say is if you don't feel that way, don't tell somebody that just to
Mhm.
make them feel good, you know?
Right,
Like you
right.
say, "Oh, I'll do anything. Just call me anytime." If that's not how you feel, don't
Yeah.
say it. Offer
Now,
something.
I have my picks. Now I pick and choose. Now, if I know some is going to want to hang on until my phone dies and start going back into like crazy stuff, you know. And sometimes by the time you finish with sometime, you're the one needs to have grief
'Cause
counseling.
you
Yeah.
drain,
You just let your phone die.
drain you.
So much. And
Be
then
like,
once in a blue moon, I used to find myself snoring on the phone because it was just
snoring.
like draining, like,
Snowing
um,
or snoring.
and sometimes make
Or
you feel
rain, not snowing.
good.
No.
Yeah, not snowing, snoring. I know how to smell snoring. I'm country, you know I'm country. It's okay. But if you don't want certain ones to call you nuns, forever and ever, and they don't let it go, you're not going to tell them that. Just say, well, we're going to keep praying.
Mom,
We praying.
so
Yeah.
real quick, so did losing your husband affect your travel? Because you used to travel every year, like a couple times a year.
Oh,
So
yeah. Oh,
losing
yeah.
your husband, did that affect your travel? You didn't feel like
Of
traveling
course.
anymore because he
Of
wasn't
course. And I
there?
don't like traveling. I really, and that might have had something to do with I don't like to travel like I used to. I'm not even about crazy about going to conventions. I just, it probably did. Because we did, I know every year we did, honey, we did,
I
I
can't
say,
do this, you guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, so let's just not talk about dad. Let's just talk about someone.
Period. Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah,
also, Tawanda was talking about losing a child, the grief process
oh,
of when you lose a child. You were saying
Yeah,
that?
because they were saying, well, when I was looking some things up, now I've never experienced losing a child personally, but I was researching and it was saying that you really have to give them time because it's a child that they lost. And when you realize that this child, you bore this child was in you, for 9 months, and then you experienced so much with this child,
Yeah.
and then you birth the child, and then you have all of the experiences from that, and then you raise the child, and now the child is no longer, even when women go through miscarriages and stuff, that's still a loss,
oh,
that's
yeah.
still a lot to deal with,
Yeah.
so don't be so hard on someone that suffered a loss, give
Oh,
them time, to grieve, especially if it's a mother, you know and like mom was saying earlier, you can't say I know how you feel,
yeah.
even if you experience the same thing.
Right.
People don't experience things the same way.
That's true.
That's right.
Some people can get over stuff quicker than some other people, and
Yeah.
some people will hold things longer than other people. So you have to give them time to grieve. Give them time to grieve.
That's good.
Yeah.
And have compassion. Like put yourself just like the Bible said, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Put
Hmm.
yourself in their place.
Hmm.
What would you want to hear? You know what I mean? So I mean, I know I don't want to go there, but I was just not to go there, but you know how when people at a funeral or something, they go around, they shaking people's hands and all that kind of stuff during the family hour and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So I began to have compassion on people
Hmm.
because of how I felt. You know what I mean? So it's like once you go through something, you can have compassion because I know how Bishop Joyce had something totally different. He was saying how when the police stopped his car, and he was like, "Yeah, give him a ticket. He shouldn't be speeding." And he was
Hmm.
like, and then when he got a ticket, and he felt so bad. Then the next time he saw someone else stop over, he was like, "Lord bless him, give him grace, Jesus, give him grace," because he
Ah,
knew that. You know what I'm saying? So people extend grace when they go through certain things.
Yeah. You
And
know,
eh,
Barbara Milbourne said, "This is so true. We are all different." Yeah.
yeah,
mhm.
absolutely. Yeah.
And then when you live with people who are still going through things for years, you
Hmm.
still have to be compassionate.
You
Yeah.
do.
Still watch what you say, even though you know people, they're close to you. Then they ask you, how did you do it? But people are different. Some
Absolutely.
people can't even go to another ceremony for years, for a long time.
Hmm.
It's like driving. When I first started driving, I didn't like highways because I had an accident highway when I wasn't driving. It's like certain things you don't like trucks or buses, but after a while you're a little more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but people, some people are different. Some people never are comfortable with highways, and so it takes. And then something else: do not make permanent, uh, off the cuff decisions
That's
while
good.
you in that mode,
Oh,
Yeah.
because
that's good.
after a while, you regret it. You up and do something, then you
Mhm.
may get mad. Like I think Melanie was saying, the different stages. You get like an angry stage,
Yeah,
or
I was saying that. Let me go to that real quick. So it was denial. This can't
yeah.
be happening.
Mhm.
Anger. Why did this happen? Who is to blame? Bargaining. Make this happen and I will blah 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 blah. You make this not happen and I will blah blah blah. Depression, I can't bear this. I'm too sad to do anything. And acceptance, I acknowledge that this has happened and I cannot change it.
Mhm.
And so there are different steps. So before you
And
can
sometimes
acknowledge,
people get
like,
angry with the person that left them.
yeah,
Why'd you leave me?
yeah,
Why? And then you ask God too. And you know what? God understands if you get angry. Because I asked him, I said, why did this have to happen? And
yeah,
I was thinking, this did not really have to happen.
yeah.
Why? And then later on, he may tell you why. Then again, he may not. That's when you
Never
trust.
answers why, seem
Yeah.
like.
You know,
That's
when I experienced a loss of someone when I was in a different state, and I was asking God why. You know, this person was really dear to me, and I was asking God why, Lord, why did you let this happen, and why did you, you know, and I think I said on one of the other shows about I was watching a program and an animated program. And Joseph, I think was it, yeah, Joseph was in the dungeon and he was singing the song, "You Know Better Than I." You know, I let go the need to know why.
Yeah,
I take the answer you supply. You know better than I. So that helped me. That helped me to stop saying why, because
oh,
God knows better than us. You know, He knows. You know what we don't know. So we
yeah,
just have to trust. Trust
uh,
Him and
but
rely on Him.
what helped me was when I read the different people in the Bible. They ask questions. He looks at your motives and he
mhm,
looks at your attitudes.
Hmm.
And some people can ask the same questions, but it's for different reasons. And then he didn't tell me why, but then later on, years later, I understood why it was
Hmm.
like that. It
Yeah,
was why. And
yeah,
then you begin to be comfortable. One thing before you even know why, you trust him.
yeah,
yeah.
And when you have an experience with the Lord, I trust him with my brother. You remember I had to identify his body at the morgue. I had
Hmm.
to go through that. There's certain things. And trust me with God knows what to trust his
no,
people with.
that's true.
If
He
you
knows your
remember,
strength. He knows
he
your
knows
strength.
what to trust you with.
Yeah,
And it's such a privilege. He trusted me. I did my mother's. I mean, I actually do the program.
yeah,
And you know what? It helps me when people pray for me and they cry for me. So when I go to these ceremonies, I'm sitting in the home like I'm detached, like. And that detachment is like I'm far away, and the Lord let me know that's the pavilion He's hiding you in.
mm-hmm.
And then when I went to my mother, I didn't cry at her ceremony. At my brother's ceremony, I
Hmm.
identified his body. At my husband, he hid me.
Right.
And then when it happens, you will cry, but it don't last. You
Yeah,
don't stay stuck in that. But see, everybody's different. You don't stay stuck
that's the
looking out the
key.
window,
That's the
but
key is not to stay stuck.
Yeah.
just
You know
start
what I
doing.
mean?
You
And
know.
Yeah.
so, and another, we were talking about other kind of griefs. Me going through a divorce, years ago. Like mom, you were saying, don't make life changing decisions. Don't make major decisions. So a lot of people, when they
Mhm.
go through divorce or something like that, instead of turning to God, they turn to other people, which
Yeah.
isn't always good because I know mom was telling me she was like, you can't see and you can't hear and you can't think because you're grieving. You know what I mean? You used to have this guy around here, your husband with you, for years, and you're grieving. So it's like, and some people like the only way I can get over somebody is I'm gonna say that, but on here is to get
Yeah,
under
go ahead.
somebody else, meaning to get connected with somebody else.
Oh
But that's
no.
not always the
Right.
good thing to do. First of all, and we were talking about even doing our prep before you even lose somebody in life, whether divorce, whether to transition or something like that, you have to learn how to be single and be comfortable with yourself. So
That's
if
right.
you were to lose somebody, you will still know who you are and can walk in it. And that singleness, I know Miles and Rose always talk about, he always talk about singleness. He said the best marriage is the husband and wife who are single while they're married. He was like, I take myself out to dinner, I go to the movies, and I'll do this by myself, even though he's married. But some people, like when you get married, you're so attached, you want to do everything with that person,
Mhm.
but then when you lose them, you're lost.
Yeah.
But if you learn how to be single with that,
Right.
And how about this, Tisha? With that, living like you have to know how to do stuff, like
Mhm.
be kind of
absolutely,
independent. Like now,
yeah,
some spouses don't allow you to be independent. They expect you to, confide, do everything with them, or they put their okay on it.
yeah,
But we started off like that because I was a teenage bride at 17. We started, but we didn't end up like that. Thank the Lord.
yeah,
I was able to go on retreats with the girls, with the women, like that was once a year, and that was excellent. And retreats, that
yes,
made me a good mother and a good spouse for a
Mhm.
year. The next year came, it was time me to go again.
yeah,
And he would take vacations and keep the children babysit.
Mhm.
And I would thank him. And
Yeah.
my aunt would say, "Why are you thanking him for babysitting? They're his children too." But I figured there was nothing wrong with that. And he would just keep all the kids and
One.
take off the whole week and I just enjoyed myself and came home refreshed. And I needed that. With
Yeah.
12 kids, I needed that.
Right.
we
One
have a
thing.
comment before you
Oh,
go.
I'm sorry.
Brenda said we have to accept people for where they are and just love and support them.
That's
Yes,
so true, Brenda.
yes.
I'm
And their
making
way.
you think like
We,
you think, and when
that's right.
I wouldn't do that. It was taking me so long. I wouldn't.
That's
Never
right.
say never. You,
That's
if
That's
right,
you're not
because
in
you.
that
that's
situation,
right.
never say never because you never know what you'll go through and what you can handle.
Yes. And Brenda, you
Yeah.
support them the way they want to be supported, not
That's
the
right.
way you want to support them.
Right.
They may
Right.
not like cottage cheese and ice cream. They may not want that. They don't want to eat. They
Oh,
say,
who would want that?
In the world,
well, they, cottage
Ice cream.
cheese and pineapple and stuff, like you would want. No, they say, and you tell them, you got to eat to keep the strength going, but they don't feel like eating, maybe.
don't
Yeah.
set them no, don't make them no ANC with no chicken.
Mm, no smoked turkey.
Right. And
If
you know something else? You
what?
don't make a person your life. You
That is
only make
so
God your
important.
life.
That
Yeah.
is so
You do not let
that's
let the
good.
one person, because when that person is gone, then you like, well, that was my life, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So you cannot make.
Yeah.
I know this happened firsthand. It was a woman. She was really, really sharp, and she had a really good job. She was very successful in her career, and she and her husband divorced her, and she
Oh,
just went down. I
Wow.
mean,
oh,
downhill. I mean,
oh,
she started looking drab and
oh,
looking down in her face, and she even went into the hospital, because of this, in
Mm,
a wheelchair. I mean, because of this divorce and stuff. The
mm.
woman eventually passed away.
Wow.
Passed away
I
because
mean,
she made
oh,
her
boy.
life. You never
And
make
he gives
somebody
you
your
that
life
kind
but
of
God.
power.
And some people lose it. They lose their mental faculties.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have to be committed someplace. They
That's
actually
because they
lose.
codependent, maybe on
Yes,
the
yeah,
person.
yeah.
yes.
And
And
then
I would like to
I'm sorry.
suggest or advise, people that are going through grief or a loss, whether it be your loved one or a divorce or losing your job. I mean, anything that you,
Yes,
you hold close or dear to
Yeah.
you, I would suggest that people get counseling. They
Yeah,
have, counselors out here for those types of situations. Sometimes if you just talk to somebody,
yeah,
that would relieve a whole lot of the the grief and the stress that comes along with it.
And
So
Melanie,
And
help is
sometimes
big.
a
Help is
support
big.
group sometimes too.
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you research the counselors, make sure they are equipped to do that. Everybody's not counselors,
Well,
and you.
I suggest you go to like a grief care, and they're all over. I'm sorry, y'all.
Like I
You
was
know,
telling you,
licensed counselors, man. We're not talking about anybody on the corner. You
no,
sitting
no,
on the
I'm,
bus
I'm
stop.
talking about license. They got their license. You get
Come
your
over
license.
here. Let me tell you how to deal with that
Yeah,
situation.
no.
Oh, it's thunder and lightning out there, y'all. Now,
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be storming,
oh,
right?
it is.
But Mel, mom is right. She's right because um, I went to a doctor, a counselor, and I mean licensed practitioner, you know, and he wasn't helpful at all. You know, every time I went, you know, he was saying all this crazy dumb stuff, and I was like, I'm here for me.
And you're
I'm not
paying your
here
money.
for,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And every time I went, he would bring up this other person. You know, I'm like, I'm here for me. I'm not here for this other person. I'm here. Can you please, you know, help me? So you do have to be careful, Mel, and research, you know, and then even like use, I guess, like the buddy system, like ask somebody, do you know of a good counselor, whatever, you know, don't just go and try to find somebody on your own because you just never know what you're gonna get. Just
And
never.
something this was, I think, I don't know of a Christian counselor, but a license, but they weren't good. They were paying their money and still were grieving. You know, they weren't good. But now the one I suggested, Roberta House, they were certified as to be a grief a counselor, and also they will take you through the steps. So they help you with your grief. And I would highly recommend these people. The place is clean, that you have snacks, and they have outside speakers. I mean, phenomenal speakers. And it's like church based, but they don't dwell on Christianity. They just teach people as a whole across
Right.
the board, but you can tell they are, they upstand, they're not, saying bad stuff. They're good people. And their new home is across the street from the one that's on, is it North Avenue, I think? Yeah. It's Marsh. It's called Roberta House. Brand new. They just built it beautiful, brand new. So
Wow.
I would suggest that.
And I think sometimes you just have to force yourself to do stuff, like force yourself to exercise. Even if you don't feel like it, force yourself to go out there and ride
Yeah.
that bike. Like Tawanda was like that girl say, you want to get up and you want to exercise. You want to do this. You want to just and find something that you really love doing. You know what I mean? That can take your mind off of stuff. Like for me, of course, it was my worship, that really helped me. And it's like to get a relationship with God. When we were talking earlier, it's like, well, some people may not believe in God. So at that point,
Yeah.
Brenda said, just love on them, and support them.
That's
Yeah.
good.
On them. I'm not trying to get you saved at this point.
Yeah.
That's
People come to
right.
them and they say, if you want to see him again, you better live right.
But
Isn't
guess
that
what?
crazy?
We don't know about that. That's God's business. You say, no, where they
It's
going?
God's business. And who wants to hear something like that when they just lost their loved one? I think some of that stuff is like insensitive. Even when you go to homegoings, some of those people up there on that mic really are they don't need they
There
need
you
to
go.
go up there and take it out of their hands. Like sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
What to say?
Go sit down.
They don't know what to say.
If
Right.
you ask them, do they want to come back with you? They'll tell you no. I'm just happy right where I am. I don't want to come back. No, I ain't want to hear that. Really, just stick to the word. If you're gonna
Yeah.
preach, just stick to the word for
Yeah.
5 or 10 minutes, and just if you're preaching, just stick to the word.
Stick to the word. That's
stick-
right.
That heals. That's what heals. The word heals. Just give me the
That's
word.
right.
Yes, just
And you
stick
don't
to
even
the
have to
word.
tell them it's in the Bible. Just say,
You
like
might have to-
Les Brown say, my favorite book says blah 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 blah. Like, you don't have to tell them from the Bible. You can just be quoting proverbs and stuff. They don't know where it comes from because, like, most of these help books anyway come from proverbs and
right.
songs.
Yep.
They just don't have them in there, but it
Yep.
comes from that. So if that person doesn't believe in God and not a believer, you can still encourage them with the word, and they don't even know it.
Isn't that good? That
Yeah.
is
And you know what? And I'm gonna put something that may not be, on this topic really, but when they come to you, and I've heard people saying, "No, can I use your facility?" I'm crying. I don't have a place to go. That is an excellent avenue to really let your love shine, to let your love show. If you, like, I don't have a facility like that, but if you open it up to people, and they're going to be bringing in people, and sometimes that's the only time somebody's going to come in the presence of God.
That's true.
That's
That's
the
true.
only time. And don't say no, they weren't members here. I would never say that. I would never say this. And where my heart is, I wouldn't even charge them.
Absolutely not, Mom. You're absolutely right.
Where my heart is, because it's a time of really letting your light shine. That's the time to open your doors, your heart,
That's so true.
to feed them, to serve them. You know how we do. We take off our good hats and turn it around and make it a scarf or something and put on that apron and serve. That's the best ministry in the world. That's better than poor
Wait,
people.
make your hat a scarf?
The scarf
You know how
Turn
you
your
turn
hat
around,
around and make it a
you
scarf.
know,
on
we
apron.
I mean, they see you one way in the kitchen, with
I know.
kitchen stuff.
I know what
The
you're
next time
saying.
they
Like,
see you dressed, but see, you let them know that you can just put on some service
and
clothes.
you know what? And for if someone in that neighborhood of your church passed or whatever, and you open your church door, and imagine your saints coming, to that funeral and just being helpful and all that kind of stuff. And the people were like, wow, and they will feel that love because you don't even have to know them. But
No,
guess
you
what? But God knows them, and God is in you, so
and
that God
God is in you.
can give love, and
Yeah.
show love.
I mean,
And
that's
it's
true
genuine.
hospitality, you know.
It's
Yeah.
real.
I said that's true hospitality.
Yes, it
That's
is.
so
Yeah.
Most people don't have that, in
Yeah.
their churches and stuff, but you have to
I think
learn how
because
to do that.
it's selfishness to me.
We make everything a business too. It's not business.
Yeah.
It's not business as usual. It is business, but not as usual. Because God said, Jesus, I must be about my Father's business.
Right.
This is His business,
And then
serving people.
a lot of people, they try to go with protocol. What am I supposed to do in this situation? What was so and so told me to do in this situation? Listen to your heart and listen to what the Lord is leading you to do, and do it that. Do that.
Absolutely.
You know, don't. Oh, I don't like it when people, they feel like they don't know what to do because they're unlearned. Okay, but don't you have common sense or common courtesy?
Not everybody.
You
Everybody
know,
doesn't do that. Not everybody.
but if you godly, how don't you have common courtesy if you are supposed to be godly? Oh
And
man,
all
People need
it
to
does,
be taught.
Go
huh?
ahead.
I said people need to be taught. What's common to you may not be common to other
and
people.
then also, some things is just
Courtesy
in
stuff.
you. Some things just in you. And then the ones that's the leader, like sometimes we let things go so long, even when you have if you're in charge of the program, we don't consider that people are tired. We don't need to have a preaching for a whole hour for a funeral. People are tired. And then you get your clue from them too, unless they just enjoying it. It's for the family.
Yeah.
Unless they just praising God, they enjoying it. They want you to go on. And then you always go, what do you want me to do? You're their servants. No, I'm in charge. I do what I want. This is my church. You are their servant at this point.
Right,
So if you want me
exactly.
to do this next, they may do stuff that's unconventional. I don't mean
Absolutely.
crazy. I don't mean crazy unconventional.
And we
But
as a church, we need to be all things to all people. Like
Mhm.
yeah,
we need to have that grief, that support care in our churches. They support the widows, support
yeah,
orphans.
yes,
To
yes.
have that all the different areas and stuff of need in the
Mhm.
community, we should provide that in our ministries.
Support groups, support groups.
All the support.
That's an excellent
Yeah,
support groups.
absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because a lot of times too, people feel like that they're alone in something. They feel like that I'm the only one that's handling it this way, or I'm the only one that's going through this way.
Mhm.
But then when you're in a support group, then you find out that, oh wow, they went through that too. They went through that
And
too.
then you say nobody understands me. Nobody
And
understands.
that's how you feel. You feel like I'm the only one. You look around like you be looking at people. They look happy. And you and I'm seeing you like I'm the only one like this. But that's
And then
not
you
the case.
and then you tell yourself what somebody else is thinking about you. And they
Yeah.
may not even be thinking that about you. But the
No.
fact that
There's
you think they're thinking about you,
right.
now you just messed up, messed your own self up.
And
Yeah.
I
And I don't think you should allow yourself to be alone for a long period of time. Like
Mm.
really long. I'm not saying like, after a couple of days or whatever you experience the situation, whatever. I'm talking about an extended period of time.
Like,
You
like,
need to be around people. You need to, talk. You need to. I mean, God did not create us on this earth to be alone. So we have people there that are like-minded people here on earth that will support us. They might have the right words to say
yeah.
or the right comfort to just be there.
was
You
that getting in their
somebody
business?
We have
present.
we have another
Oh.
Tamika Lee is here. Hey Tamika. I know Tamika she lost her
Hi.
son to Michigan streets a few years ago. She said
Mm-hmm.
support groups are definitely needed.
Oh,
The
y'all
world
need to write that down. Write it down.
the world has support groups and not the church. There's something wrong with that picture. When they have mothers, what's it called? I can't think the name of it though.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it either.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. They have a whole lot of support
yeah.
groups for mothers who lost their children.
Exactly.
Like MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers,
All
that's
of that.
Hello
support.
support group like
There
that.
was something else I wanted. Oh, go ahead, Twanda.
I was going to ask Mel. So, Mel, are you saying that when you're saying that people shouldn't be alone, are you saying that they should reach out? Because if someone's not reaching out to you, should they reach out to someone else?
No, I'm saying, even if like for a long period of time or whatever, you could probably approach or go to somebody who was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to go out. I don't want to talk right now,
Oh, I
whatever.
see.
That's
I
what
see.
I'm saying. I'm not saying reach out because I think the onus should be on us.
Right.
You
I'm
know,
saying if
we
it's
need
not, if we don't do it. But I see what you're saying. Don't
Yeah.
keep neglecting the
And
opportunity.
it's just like when
Yeah.
I heard people who lost their loved ones to say, that's good that y'all coming around here the week that they passed or something like that before the funeral and bringing us all this food. And they were like, but we really, really need you afterwards. Like when the phone stops ringing and people stop coming around and all that kind of stuff. They still might be in their place of, I can't cook. I'm still, but we don't know because we just going on with our life. Like they fine, everything's okay. But it's like we should, I guess that's when the intercessors come in, when we have to really seek God, as far as like when we say we're going to pray for somebody, we need to pray. Don't make that a cliche. I'm going to pray for you, but then I'm not, then I don't pray for you. And
Right,
those
and
people
pray right away.
Pray right away. They need that
Right
support. They need that constant support. It might be a year of supporting them. You never know,
Right.
And then if you don't know what to say, just like Mom said one time, go over there and hold their hands and just embrace them. Some people just need a hug just to release all that,
Now, I ask them, do you mind if I hug you? Everybody don't want that. Just
Right.
say, do you mind if I hug you? They'll say yes. Then I hug them. We're hugging people, but they
Right.
don't like, some people don't like hugs, but just hold their hands if you want,
Well,
and say
just
nothing. Say nothing at all.
Right. I'm about to say, or
Just-
just listen.
just
they
be-
might need a sounding board.
Oh, yes.
Be
I love
there.
it.
we got some people coming in. Here's Phyllis said the church tells us to go to God, pray, he will give you strength. He was like, I'll be praying for you. That's what the church says. And lady finally got back on. She was having internet problems. She said one of the hardest things she had to learn is to be, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Too. It's I
That's
got
real
that.
good,
I was listening to Joyce Myers and she was like, it's okay if you're not okay.
Right. That's good. That's real good. Absolutely. Yeah.
I just want to add to it. Just don't stay there.
Yeah.
Because you can get stuck in that.
And don't make a sudden move, decision. And then later on you regret it. And some things you can't go back once you make them permanent decisions. And some people are going to be, you know what? Some people look out for those who are down and out to take advantage of them.
Yeah.
It could be some of these guys looking for somebody. Oh, they probably got money. We're going to hit on them. No. I mean, that's when you really need Jesus in your life.
And the enemy is trying to take you out too. He when you're at your weakest, when you're vulnerable. Like when you're vulnerable, oh my goodness, that's when the vultures come around and all that kind of stuff. Telling you
They say, what kind of man do you want? And you'll say, oh, I already have one. Oh, really? Yeah, his name is Jesus.
that's what mine
I
said.
already
It's Jesus.
That's what I'm
You know what? That's the best I'm gonna have. He'll give you whatever you need, and he won't even.
That's what I say, and I don't have to fix him breakfast in the morning.
Ah,
And then they say to me, well, do you want somebody with money? I say, if I get him with money, that don't mean they're gonna give it to me.
Oh goodness.
ah.
You know, that's somebody with money. He has everything.
How you, Miss Mary? How you, Miss Farmer?
Phyllis says, stay connected often through phone calls, visits, etc.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Because you don't want to get into a state of what I was researching of complicated grief. You know,
What is that, Tawanda? What is
Yeah.
that?
complicated grief is when you are you're like Tish was saying, stuck. You know,
Oh,
you're holding on to it, you know, and it's like you don't want to let it go and you don't want to get unstuck. Like Mel was saying, like when somebody comes and they say, well, let's go, you know, to the movies, let's go get something, and you say no, and you want to be in your funk. That's when it becomes dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
So you need to, you should deal with it, you know, the best way you can, but let people help you
Yeah.
so you don't get stuck, you know, and you feel like your life is meaningless, you know. That's it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because your life is not meaningless. You know, I was talking to somebody and they were saying, like I was saying earlier, this person is my life, and I was like, well, God is supposed to be your life. You know, don't let someone say that this person is my life. You're still here. You're still living. So there's more living to do.
Yeah.
You know? So, and I was
So you're
saying,
not a
come in your life for seasons and reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if they you know, pass on or transition, you're still here for a reason. So you have to continue on. Somebody needs you. You know,
Sometimes
somebody
it's your children. Sometimes it's your children.
that needs you.
Yeah, the younger ones. If you have a loss, even if a divorce, you know,
Right.
a loss as far as like a divorce, your children, you have to show up.
Yeah.
People, they get divorced, they have toddlers and stuff, you know, teenagers. You have to show up and you have to keep on, you know, living and stuff. Lady says so true. Don't get stuck because it comes in different ways.
Yeah, and it's a part of healing. You know,
Yeah.
you want to be healed, so it's a part of healing. That's when you release, you know, you want to be healed. You don't want to be stuck.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we don't want to, you know, feel
So
it.
how do you help people when they?
I'm sorry,
When
motion without direction have you spinning in circles. I like that.
That's good. That's
Motion
really good.
without direction have you
Ah,
spinning
yeah.
in circles.
Yes, that's
Somebody
very
told
good.
me
That's
one time
good.
I was going upstream with one oar.
Wow.
She said, God,
Ah,
I'm gonna give you two oars. That was years ago. She said, you going
one
upstream with
oar.
one oar, meaning I'm going around in a circle because I need two oars to go up. She said, God's gonna give you two oars to what is
Get
it?
to where you want.
Yeah,
Navigate where you need to go.
Yeah,
upstream. Yeah,
right.
that was so good. Yeah.
That was good. So you don't just stay. Right. Absolutely.
So we love you guys, and we just want to be here to help you and whatever. It's not a happy or fun conversation, but it's a needed conversation. All conversations aren't comfortable, but most they are needed.
Yeah.
Because so many people are out there. Go ahead, Tom. What you were saying?
I was going to say, when you are going through something, you know, try to find somebody, you know, that you can talk to minister to, that could be going through as well. That can help you too, because
Part of
you
your
know,
healing.
we reap what we sow, you know. So if you find somebody that you can help, like Mom was saying, you keep yourself busy, you know,
That's part of
and
your
then
healing.
get a journal, get a notebook, write some stuff down,
good.
you know, to relieve some of the pent up stuff. that you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you write it down, you get it out. You
That's
know,
so true.
yeah. And then don't be afraid to feel how you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? And just ask God to take it away from you. That scripture that says He replaces mourning with the oil of joy.
Yeah.
You know, He gives you beauty instead of ashes, and He actually absolutely does. It actually true. It happened to me. It can happen to you, you know.
And cry. Like holler.
Right.
Let it release that stuff.
That's
I
right.
know somebody was telling us like, nope, don't. Just keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. Sometimes you need a release. You need a release, and it's okay if
That's
you
right.
release. Like lady said, it's okay not to be okay.
That's right.
Don't walk around keeping everything inside. Release it so you can feel better. You know.
You
That's
have
why we
tears
got
up
tears.
for a reason.
What were you saying, Mom?
I said that's why we got those tears.
That's right.
Jesus wept so we can weep. He wept.
And he
So
bottles
we
them
can
up, right?
He bottles them up. Absolutely. That's
So what else in that scripture? He bottles up and do what with them?
he what does he do with our
Turn
tears?
into blessings and pour it back on us. I'm just kidding.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that part.
What does it say, Mom?
I don't remember that part.
But we do know he does that. And it's something else, Tish, that goes with that. I don't remember what it is either.
That's why I was like, let's find that, because someone probably needs that. I always say people say he bottles your tears up. I was like, okay. Lady
And then
said
review him after that.
she found out the easiest way is a hotline. Why is it easier to talk to strangers? She found it was easier to talk to strangers, like on a hotline or something like that.
Or because they don't know you, they're not going to talk to other people.
That's like when I went to grief counseling, it was called Grief Care. It was all the way in Annapolis. I didn't know any of those people, and the reason why I stopped going because it was so far from my house. It was like an hour, but I really enjoyed it, and they were talking about all kinds of stuff of what they've been through and everything. And when you hear other people's story, it's like my story not as bad as that story. You know what I mean? And and it helps you though. And then we were helping each other, so we were encouraging. When you're in a support group, that support group encourages they encourage one another. So that's also a good thing.
That is good. Absolutely. That's real.
Trying to find that, Tawanda.
Yeah, Psalm 56. I don't know.
But I saw Psalms 56. Yeah, we on the same page, Tawanda.
Y'all
56 and 8.
Right.
So what does it say?
You got it, Tawanda?
No, ma'am.
Thou tellest my wanderings. Put thou my tears into thy bottle. Are they not in thy book? When I cry unto thee, then shall my enemies turn back. This I know, for God is for me.
Is that it?
Yeah, but I thought it was something in Revelation.
It's another one in Revelation too.
Yes, in Revelation as well. Yeah.
And you know what even helped me? But that word, when I found the word in Isaiah, I think 54, that says, God is your husband. Now that comforted me like nothing else.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God is your
And
husband.
if they don't know, he can be whatever you need
There
him
you go.
to be.
Bam.
He can be your husband, he can be your mother, if you lost a father, if you lost a child.
All of
God
it,
can
yeah.
be whatever you need him to
Friend.
Ever.
be. He is the I am. He is I am that I am.
Come
Whatever
on now. You fill in the blank.
you fill in that blank.
Come on now. He is I am. You fill in the blank.
Yes. I will just do the I am factor. Make declarations. Oh my goodness. Get up in the morning and start declaring your morning and command your morning. I'm love. You know, I'm a child of God. You know, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. You know, when you make those declarations, it makes you feel good though.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now I thought you had something to say. Look like you.
No, I'm just listening and taking this all in because I guess it's a somber subject per se, like you were saying. So and I'm still going through. It's not like it was before, but it's like certain things can just trigger those moments.
And how long ago was that? Like how many years was that?
A long time.
10.
10 years. And so I'm asking you that question because it's okay not to be okay 10 years from now. I know mom still be talking about her mom. You never get over that kind of loss when you lose like someone so close to you, like a mother, a father, a child, or something like. And it's okay. And don't let people tell you it's not. It is. Just be who you are, and deal with it the way you want to deal with it. Like the way I dealt with stuff, not the way Mel's going to deal with it. She probably think I'm crazy. But that's okay, but that's how I deal with it, and it's fine.
Right.
And then each one is different. If each person in your family that transition is,
that's right.
Brother is different.
Okay, guess what? It is 6:55, and we have a new what is it called now? Segment called
on our show. Called Our Pet Peeves.
Our Pet Peeves.
If you have any pet peeves, put them in the comments. We want to know what you are.
Come on, talk about a couple of them, just to lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, Mel, what's one of your pet peeves?
It was kind of heavy. Y'all know it was.
My pet peeve, okay, and this is like, y'all not going to agree with it, and it's okay. I cannot stand people to take the toothpaste and squeeze it from the top or the middle and not the bottom. Like I like the bottom to be flattened. Mel, you feel the same way?
Yes, I do.
Oh, it drives me batty. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Same way.
Well, I can't stand when this is crazy to me. When somebody does something and they are upset and complaining about somebody who's doing the same exact thing. Like you do the same thing. How you gonna get upset with them for doing that? Are you kidding me? You do the same thing.
Right.
Oh, that's one of my pet peeves.
Down my alley.
Oh, that's
my alley.
Mom, what's one of yours?
Okay. Well, I have a pet peeve.
Really?
Mom has a pet peeve.
When you go to dinners and you take constantly you take food for next day's lunch for somebody who wasn't there, and when you do stuff like that. But you know what? It's okay if they say you want to take this home, Sister Palmer. You want to have this. We're gonna throw it away. Of course, I don't like throwing away food, but I'm just voluntarily say you got a take home plate. So my husband didn't come, my child didn't come, and
bring your own Tupperware in your plastic bag. Now, what's one of yours?
I don't know. It's a lot of them. I gotta really think. I
have a real what they call it, a real like a what they call it, like when you shouldn't be feeling like that. It's like a childish or a little, I don't know. But anyway, this is
a quirk or something.
No, it's like, why are you feeling like that? I don't know. Anyway, it's like a childish pet peeve. You shouldn't be feeling like that. But like, remember when we used to have the ice trays? My biggest pet peeve was somebody used all the ice cubes except for one, and then put the ice tray back in the freezer and not fill it up with water. I couldn't stand that.
But we don't worry about it now. Can I give you one of mine for real?
Oh yes, you said for real.
When I had, people living with me, like years ago, and they would eat almost everything in a big bowl and leave a little bit just to keep from washing it out and put it back in the refrigerator. Just a little bit.
Mom.
In the refrigerator.
I can't stand it. Just a little bit or a drop of something, so they won't. Wash it. Oh my, that was your son's.
Really?
Yeah, Mommy said, really? Yes, that was your son's.
That's funny. That is.
Now,
funny.
Did you think of it yet?
No.
Okay, now what gets on your nerves?
Huh?
Let me tell you, I gotta say something. I have to say this.
Tawanda.
I'm gonna say another. Okay, another pet peeve is when people get upset with me for correcting them.
And my pet peeve is when people correct me all the time.
That's my pet peeve too, when they correct grown people.
Because it's like, the reason why I correct people, well, I try not to do it so much because I know it bothers people, but I correct them so they don't say the wrong crazy thing out in public in
all
front
the
of somebody
time, though.
else.
All the time.
That's on them. It's not on you. That's on
All
them.
the
But I
time.
feel so bad for them for
All the
doing
time,
it.
though. Do
But
y'all like for people to correct y'all? Come on, let us know. And
Put it in the comments.
put in the
How-
comments. Do y'all like when people correct
Well,
y'all all the
I like
time?
when people correct me all
Listen,
the time.
even when you make a mistake, let's say you make a mistake and the person still correct you. Go ahead, Mom. What were you going to say?
and when you say excuse me, and people have what you call the what's when you talk your own talk, colonialism.
Yeah.
When you're talking and you say, and I say Doug, because I'm country. You say Doug. I say, I like hug children. You mean hug? Like that. It's colloquialism. You can't get that country out of my
No,
book.
that's funny.
So look, thank y'all so much for tuning in, chilling with the girls. We really enjoy y'all for real. We just want y'all to like, comment, and share this with your friends, especially this session, because someone probably really needs it. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. We love you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Have a great night.